Welcome again to do Essential Chat with Sherry and Steve. Really interesting topic this week, the pros and cons of working online as a wellness advocate. Now, not many of us do this, so this could be interesting to people who don't work online as well as working online. And today we've got some very special guests. We've got Holger from Germany and Anne from Portugal. So let's start with Anne. Who is Anne?
Hello, I'm Anne Mendes. I'm from Portugal. I live in sunny Lisbon. I work as my main profession is I'm a social media trainer and consultant for small businesses. But I recently joined Doterra, and I'm starting my business very, very soon. So I have high hopes and expectations that I can apply what I teach to my clients in my own business in Doterra.
Okay, that's great. How about Holger? Tell us who Holger is.
Well, Holger is, in his main business, I'm a business consultant working in the bank and the finance industry. I'm now with Doterra since about 3 years. I think that the first 2 years or 1.5 years, I only used the oils for myself and shared them a little bit here and there. And then I think it's about 1.5 years ago that I decided to start a Doterra-based business seriously. And since then, I tried a lot and experimented a lot to do it online. As with regards to my personality, I'm really the prototype of an introvert. And so my initial idea was, well, Doterra business, that is something I can't do. Then I had the idea, well, let's try to do certain steps online, and maybe that's an approach that works for me. And that actually turned out to be true.
Well, I think that's probably the same thing with all of us here when it comes to working online. That was almost the same thing as I was thinking. I wanted to do this, but I wanted to do it online. I can talk to people, but I can see the real benefit of doing it online. Well, I've got a few questions because I'm kind of interested in how other people do it, and then obviously I'll talk about how I do it.
I will be the voice of everyone listening that knows nothing about online marketing, that's dabbled with Facebook and Instagram, thinking they're going to build a business that way and had largely no results. So if that is you, I will try to ask the questions that you may be thinking as we learn from these brilliant minds.
Thank you very much, Sherry. And that's true. Sherry is going to be the person who's going to ask some questions from you people out there who really don't know what we're talking about. But I've got a few questions for the panel, and either of you can answer this at the start.
Okay.
But what platforms do you use and why do you use them? You don't have to tell me every one of them. Just give me 1 or 2 platforms that you use, and tell me something a little bit about them and how they work.
Okay, so my main platforms that I use are Facebook, either in a public way, using a Facebook page, either in a more private way, creating 1 or 2 groups to manage the community. And then Instagram in a business profile, not a personal profile. Eventually, YouTube channel. In YouTube, we must be consistent, so uploading a video per week is tough. And LinkedIn, of course, if we want to contact with the organizations, either with our personal profile, either with the company page in LinkedIn. So these are the main platforms, social media platforms that I use.
And how do you use them in general? Is there any techniques you use to kind of reach out to people? There's any methods?
The first thing that is important is that, of course, that is we should of course show a little bit of our personal life, but in my perspective, it's important to have a business presence if we want to grow the business. So I try to mainly focus on the business pages and profile on Instagram. And the main thing I would like to say is that it's important not to copy and paste the content from Facebook to Instagram, because that doesn't work. So it's important that we have a content strategy for Facebook that should be more informative, with some touches of personal updates concerning the usage of the oils in your own life. But then on Instagram, you should be much more visual and use stories to tell what's happening on your business in a backstage perspective. Then if you have the possibility to use the videos that you produce for Facebook or Instagram and repurpose them on YouTube, that could be a very good idea, because you could, like that, you could catch a different audience that is just searching on Google. YouTube is a Google property. So we could also take advantage of some traffic that comes organically from YouTube. Then I don't trust so much on the organic reach, so I'm consistently investing in Facebook and Instagram ads, mainly ads on the stories on Instagram. They work really very well, because there are so much people making ads over there. And then of course the websites or the blog, and some landing pages to capture traffic. And then you can create some ads from Facebook and Instagram to your landing page, in order that you capture that traffic from social media to your own blog, website, or landing page.
Okay, thank you very much. How about you, Holger? How have you got a different mindset with this, or kind of similar?
My primary platform is actually my website with a blog on it. I really love to write about the Doterra, the oils, their usage. But after a while, I found out that the reach I can get with a WordPress-based website only is rather limited. So I started with Facebook as well, very similar as the approach of Anna. And I found out that, for instance, sharing blog articles I've written on my blog brings a very good reach on Facebook on the one hand, and on the other hand, it's important for me for inviting people to my classes that I do. And yeah, the third platform I'm using is the newsletter tool I use one that allows a large or high degree of automation, which is a great help for me in order to not send out every confirmation for class, for example, manually.
Which mailing service do you use? Something like MailChimp or one of the other ones?
Okay, I'm using ActiveCampaign.
ActiveCampaign, okay.
The service that can very good be connected to other tools. For example, to a CRM tool I'm using in order to track the data of my team members, of newsletter readers, and people who have attended my classes.
Excuse me, what CRM do you use, Holger?
I'm using Nimble. That's a tool that can be used online, so it does not require an installation on your computer. And it has a lot of advantages with regards to reminders, and repeated reminders can be connected to ActiveCampaign, very good, and to my website as well. So that's the tool I really appreciate and love.
Okay, I have 2 questions already. What is CRM, and what does that do for me if I get a CRM tool?
That's a tool that you can use to track the details of your team members, of people you're working with, or that yeah, are interested in the oils, for example. So I can here enter their address data, for example, but also can track tasks, follow-ups, and so on.
So it's helping you to send them information. Does it give you any other information back about them? Like if they open the email or?
Yes, it does. It actually does. Not each and every CRM tool is able to do this, but that one I'm using is able to show me which mails have already been read or not yet read, and that's already great added value for me.
For email marketing, I use MailChimp. ActiveCampaign is really a great tool, better than MailChimp. The only issue is that it's more expensive, and because of that, I'm using MailChimp.
I mean, that's the same reason I use MailChimp, because it's cheaper.
Yes.
It's free up to 12,000 emails, and then after that you pay, I think I'm paying about $35 a month max.
Exactly.
So it's so much cheaper. That's and you get a lot of stuff on there. You know the people that's going to be working on, who's reading your emails. You know who's more interested than others. So you can kind of like do an extra catch up if you want to with these people. My basic method is kind of a little bit of a blend between both of you, funny enough. I do content marketing, using WordPress and landing pages as well, but I integrate them with an email marketing service using MailChimp, but also I do spread myself around a bit. So for example, I integrate it with every time I write a new article, somehow I will integrate it with a YouTube video, even if it's like a less than a minute video, anything, and then I will integrate the link into that video, because it gives you so much of a backlink, a massive backlink, and that is one thing I think people forget to do, is to backlink their sites. I share each blog article or landing page with about 30 or 40 different places, and that will go from bookmarking to some of these more obscure social media sites. It doesn't matter where they are, but as long as they get indexed by Google, that's all that matters, because you're not expecting people to go there and look at your page somewhere else. You're expecting Google to see your page and go, that must be important because it's there, and there, and people are sharing it. So, but also I also integrate SEO optimization as well. So every page, I can't just write an article. If I just write an article, it's a random thing to do. So you need to kind of think about the keywords you're using. The words you're using is the most important thing in an article, because if you expect a keyword like Doterra is going to do it, it's not ever. There's about 2 million sites with the word Doterra on it, so you know you're not going to be in the top 10 ever. So you need to think more abstractly and say, okay, even for example, selling essential oils online. Now that would work far better than Doterra. So the keywords are most important.
How do you find those keywords? How do you know what keywords to use? Anna wants to answer.
Yeah, you can. There's several places. Google will give you the keywords. You just go to Google Keyword Planner.
I would like to suggest another one, because sometimes for people that don't know how to do Google AdWords, it's tricky to find Google Keywords tool inside the platform. So I'm using, you can do three searches for free, and then it's a paid tool. KW Finder is a great tool to see the most.
with 3 words is not enough. I
Yeah,
mean,
then there's the paid
the thing
version.
is, if you're using like WordPress, you can tag it with about 20 to 30 keywords without it being violated. So,
Anna, can you repeat the name of the?
It's a keyword finder. You can go there and just do a simple search just to see, for instance, the related keywords with the rosemary oil, for instance, and then you'll see the volume of searches in the country or in the city, and see how it works. And then this tool that Stephen is recommending is really the one of the best tools, but sometimes people get a little bit scared to go inside this tool because they don't do Google AdWords. So
no, you don't have to do Google AdWords. You just, all you're using is the planner. You don't use
I know, but people get scared.
But for example, I've done this article called how to see yourself in 5 years if you do nothing. And the keywords are basically, how do you see yourself in 5 years? And that every month, people search that word between about 1,000 times. They search that word. And so, but at the same time, there's only very few amount of sites that are using that keyword or keywords. So that's the trick, you see. If there's only, like, for example, 400 sites using it, but 1,000 times a month someone's searching that, it's quite possible to push yourself by doing lots of little tricks like sharing the site all over the place to get yourself in the top 10. Now, I know people go in, for example, the rankings, you can go to like the chances of someone opening number 1 is 70%. Open number 2 on the list is like 20%, and number 3 is 10%. But the reality is people do look at the rest anyway. So if you can get yourself at least on the first page, there's a good chance you're going to still get, in a month, maybe 100 hits if we work out even at its worst. Now, 100 hits, these are 100 targeted hits. These are not random hits, these are targeted. So people are, even 100 sounds a very small amount. People are actually looking for an article called, how do you see yourself in 5 years? So from there on, you're already a winner.
It's amazing.
So that's how you rank yourself. It's the easiest and cheapest way to get organic hits on your site.